Welcome to Big Boof Bets, Get That Money podcast. It is week 16. I am Nate Stephenson, and I am joined by Mr. Tony T-Bone Guarino and Steve Big Boofy Scureman. We're all on remote this week, so this should be interesting. Our first three-way remote session, so we'll see how this goes. But how's everybody doing out there today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good, man. Up and down week for us as our locks reflect, but I was able to come out positive by the time it was all said and done.
That's good. We like winning.
No doubt.
We like winning. How about
I myself find myself checking out geography and where the fault lines in California actually lie, so I can find out if the earthquake, the big one, were to happen, if San Francisco would be one of the ones that would fall off of the U.S. and into the ocean. I'm slightly bitter about that outcome from this weekend. But other than that, decent weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to make you relive this misery, Tone, but I think for the people, you actually do got to share this horrible tale that you had to experience on Sunday.
Let's just say that when your only outcome that you need to happen is a San Francisco 49ers money line victory fails to happen and results in the loss of a potential many units, you are less than thrilled with that outcome.
So one could say you wouldn't mind if San Francisco were to earthquake itself right off the planet.
No offense to all the San Franciscans. I hope that's how they refer to themselves. But I might not have as much sympathy. Yeah.
Yeah, against the Falcons, man, that's rough. That's rough. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm with you, Tone. Last week, not very profitable as a whole, but definitely hit up some nice live unit recovery with the Saints last night. So, could have been worse, but not quite as bad. So we live to play another day, as Farmer Fran would say in the Water Boy. So, we got a few weeks of the regular season left here to continue to build the bankroll and move on to the playoffs. So I guess before we get into it, just a little lock recap here, Mr. Booth.
Yeah, we went 3-3-1, bringing our total to 32-25-3 on the year, and a 56.1% winning rate. Our losers last week were we had the Broncos +10, the Titans -3, and the Rams -1. And I got to be honest, all three of those I was very disappointed in. A little bit fluky with the weather out there in KC in the Broncos game. Titans caught a couple bad breaks against the Texans. The Rams, we just got to own and just say we were dead wrong. But for them to just get slapped around the way they did against the Cowboys, that was just very disappointing. Yeah, we had a push with the Seahawks -6, and then our winners were the Patriots -9, the Steelers and Bills under 36.5, and then we had some live lock action that hit for us with the Bengals team total under 15.5 points. Like you said last week, treading water again, and I think it's time to move on to this week.
All right, well, interesting week. We get to kick off on Saturday with a 1 p.m. game featuring the Houston Texans at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Texans laying 3 with your over-under at 49.
So I'm going to start this off by saying I don't have hard data to back this up, but at the same time, I just feel like I have data to back this up. And I know that's not really going to make sense here until I explain it. So Jameis Winston has had a couple really, really good games. But history says Jameis Winston does not consistently have a bunch of good games in a row, which means he's about to become bad Jameis Winston again. And combine that with the fact that you have a Houston Texans team who is still a quality football team in have-to-win mode if they want to win the division, get in the playoffs. And quite frankly, I trust Deshaun Watson to get the job done. And I also trust Jameis Winston to remember he's Jameis Winston. It's only 3 points with the Texans here. I feel really good about laying those points. So the Texans are definitely in my top 5, laying only 3 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think I'm with you, man. Texans Texans were good enough to beat the Titans last week in a big game with some division lead implications and division winning implications in that game. They go on the road this week. They're playing the Bucs. The Bucs have been bad against the pass all year. It's a chance for Deshaun Watson to come out and show what he can do in a big situation, and I think he is going to perform well. And we're only talking about 3 points here, so I like the Texans. The over-under is 49. I know we've talked about this a few times already at this point. I really like the over in this game as well. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been involved in games that have covered the over 11 out of the last 12 now, and we're talking about 49 points. And no Mike Evans last week against the Lions, no problem. We still cover 49 anyway. And I really like that pick as well. But I'm with Nate. The Texans -3 are in my top 5. And we are going to be kicking off the week with a lock.
Lock it in, baby. Get that money.
Okay, that takes us to the 4:30 game on Saturday, featuring the Buffalo Bills at the New England Patriots. Patriots laying 6.5 with your over-under at 37.5.
You know, I thought there was a point in time this year where Boofy was going to have to get off the Buffalo Bills train. I never thought in Week 16 I'd be saying, Boof, I am 100% on the wagon. Circle them. Bills plus 6.5. The Patriots dynasty is on life support. It is about to be put down. Dude, not only 6.5. You've heard it before. I was right. Ride with me. Bills money line too, baby. Woo! Bills money line.
Well, you know I'm down with Bills plus 6.5, Nathan. I would like to promote the Bills train to the Bills locomotive, baby. All right, because we're big time now. All right, and we are circling the wagons yet again. It's going to be Bills plus 6.5 up there in Foxborough. Not worried about anything. And I'm ready to give that lock number 2 for the week here. You heard it here first. The first podcast that we did. The Bills will be a very profitable team this year. And that trend continues.
You have been right all year, my friend. Let's lock it in. Get that money.
All right. Rounding out our Saturday action with the 8:15 game, we have the Los Angeles Rams at the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers laying 6 with your over-under at 45.
So if the Niners make it to Saturday and Tony does not get his wish of California falling into the ocean, I do expect a Niners bounce back here. They definitely were feeling the effects from the carnage post New Orleans victory. That was definitely noticeable. I also think, quite frankly, they thought they could coast through that game against the Falcons, and they made a big mistake, and it ended up biting them in the end, unfortunately. So I expect them to bounce back here. I think the Rams season took a knockout punch at the hands of the Cowboys last week. Their playoff hopes are not dead, but on severe life support. Unfortunately for the Rams, they're not the Rams anymore. And we almost started off the week with 3 Saturday locks, but 6.5 with, quite frankly, the Niners' health situation is what gives us a little bit of hesitation here, at least me. So I'll just go strong lean Niners 6.5, bonus 5.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, it was real close to just being straight up lock Saturday, but the Falcons game last week is enough to scare me off of the 49ers. Like I really do want to put them up in that, lock category, but last week's game is enough to scare me away. I am still going to be putting some money on them. I do like the Niners minus 6.5. I talked about it a couple weeks ago. I think the Rams, you just have to downgrade them to they're just not that good. And we showed them a little faith last week. We got burned on it. They go and get whooped by the Cowboys. Now they're going to be on the road at San Fran. San Fran is a group of 4 teams that we're going to be talking about today. That's 11-3. and they are all in contention for the bye weeks, the 1 seed, the division. I mean, with San Fran, they could be anywhere to be playing on the road on Wild Card Weekend to be in the number 1 seed. So obviously a lot on the line. I do like San Fran 6.5, but I am just a little bit afraid of it because of last week's game. So like it, don't love it.
Okay, that takes us into our Sunday 1:00 slate. We'll kick things off with the Baltimore Ravens at the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens laying 10, with the over/under at 48.
Yeah, there's not even much that even needs to be said here. The Browns have become a dumpster fire. You have how many players literally telling the opposition during the games that to come and get them. Please trade for me, sign me, whatever. Which is just absolutely insane. Like I'm ashamed to admit that I thought these guys, I believed the hype like so many people, and they were going to be a super.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to collecting that one, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's going to be a break even there, courtesy of Mr. Duke Johnson. But yeah,
stupid Damian
We
Williams.
forgot about that. Sorry, y'all. A little side bet we had there, but yeah, man, the evolution of Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense, which I absolutely love. The Ravens here, they win this game. They lock up the number 1 seed. They can take next week off. They can rest everybody. Not to mention the fact that the Browns were the last time that they lost. So there's plenty of motivation here for the Ravens to go in and scrub a Browns team that, quite frankly, if you watched any of the Cardinals game last week, has already decided to call it a day for the season. So lay the 10 points at the Ravens, and you can take it to the bank. That's top 5 right there, baby.
Yeah, they're also top 5 for me. The Ravens have covered 10 points in 6 out of their last 8 games. And then, like you said, I mean, you got the revenge factor as far as getting back at the last team that beat them. Lamar Jackson, he says all the right things, that he doesn't care about the MVP, but I guarantee you deep down, he still cares about that MVP, baby. And he knows at this point, he puts together 2 more weeks, so that award is his.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we see another great performance from him. Fire him up in your daily fantasy or whatever. And give me the Ravens -10. I know Nate was telling me about a pick also. He liked Ravens to score over 1.5 touchdowns in the first half. I know that one was a good one. He said he's connected on that for a couple weeks in a row. I wanted to make sure we get that in here for you guys. But yeah, Ravens -10 is top 5 for me, and they are a lock.
Absolutely, baby. Lock it in. Get that money.
Okay, up next we have the Carolina Panthers at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts laying 6.5 with the over/under at 46.
We have injured and I don't know versus underperforming and I don't know unknown rookie quarterback. So I don't know, which means hell no, go away, stay away.
Yeah, I agree. I hate this game. It is a pass.
Okay, nice and quick. That's how I like that. Moving on, we have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Miami Dolphins, currently at a pick'em with the over/under at 47.
Okay, in your super poop special of the week, we have 2 teams that suck, and you don't know which one's going to suck more on a given day. Therefore, again, I like winning money, not losing money. Why take the risk on poop? Avoid the poop.
Nate, can we get that one more time for the people?
You had somewhat of a mathematical equation.
When you have poop plus poop, that still equals poop. And I don't want none of this poop.
Well, Nate, I do want some of this poop, man.
Race some potpourri on one of these teams, baby.
Oh, my. Hey, man, the Dolphins have won, 4 games this year? Since he's only won, at the end of the day, I do think they are the better team. Not something that I have like top 5 kind of confidence in them, but I will be including them in some of my stuff, and my pick will be the Dolphins, and I feel pretty good about it.
Well, I mean, you do feel good after a poop, but I don't know about picking poop. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, well let's try to get the pooper scooper out and move on here. So Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons laying 7 with your over-under at 46.
Didn't I just talk about poop versus poop? All joking aside, I think the Falcons are going to win. But if all I'm saying is I think the Falcons are going to win and they're laying 7 points, yeah, I'm not feeling. That doesn't feel very comfortable for me in putting in anything of consequence. So that's like literally home run parlay only for like $5 or something. So yeah, no thanks.
I hate this game. Or at least I remember saying it earlier in the season, where the Falcons are like my automatic wrong answer team. No matter what I pick, they're going to do the opposite. And sure enough, they did it again last week. We go ahead, we lock in the 49ers. Actually, did we lock 49ers? I don't remember. But I remember feeling strong about the 49ers. And there they go. There go the Falcons. Not only do they cover, they come out and win. So wrong yet again. And I do not plan on being wrong again with them this week. I'm going to go with a nice, cool pass.
You know what that would make the Falcons there, Boof?
Poop.
Parlay Falcons.
Definitely parlay Falcons.
All right, up next we have the New Orleans Saints at the Tennessee Titans. The Saints laying 2.5 with your over-under at 50.5.
You know, Boof, I feel like getting freaky here. Would you like the pizza box this game?
Yeah, yes, I would.
All right, I'm gonna feel like I want to continue my run of pizza box victories here, so I'm gonna take the Titans +3. I'm feeling a potential Saints letdown-ish game a little bit, even though they need to win for seeding purposes. And the Titans really need this game, and I think they got really unlucky against the Texans last week. Plus, they're getting 3 at home. I think this game will be a close game. So this could very well, especially if you're getting it at 3, this could be a push. If you're getting it at 2.5, and you're taking the Saints side, then that's good for you. But I don't know. I just have a funny feeling about the Titans, man. They put some good stuff together, and I like what I'm seeing from Tannehill and Henry and the receivers. I don't know. I think they shake the bad bounces last week and pull out a close victory here against the Saints.
I mean, I agree with you. I think the Titans have been playing good football. I just think the NFC is by far the superior conference this year. And I think in general, the Saints are just a better team. And there's this kind of stigma that follows them that they're so much worse on the road. And historically, I think, there's some data that would support that. But this year, they have covered 2.5 points in all of their road games except for one. And that was the game against the Rams that they ended up losing. And Drew Brees got injured in the first half of that game. So besides that one, they have covered 2.5 on the road every time. I'm not worried about them playing on the road. I think they're the better team. 2.5 for me is not a big deal. This is in my top 5 this week, and I love the Saints -2.5.
Okay, moving on. We have the Giants at the Redskins. Redskins laying 2. I repeat, Redskins laying 2 with the over-under at 42.5.
I know, man. How crazy is that?
Dwayne Haskins is laying points.
The world is upside down.
I'm gonna lay him anyway. Give me the Skins. I can't believe I'm doing this. Oh man, it's just the Giants. They beat the Dolphins. We really think the Giants are gonna go on a winning streak? No, they still suck. And quite frankly, the Redskins suck too. But they've looked, quite frankly, a little bit better the last couple games. I mean, they gave the Packers a tough game. They should have beaten the Eagles, quite frankly. So, yeah, man, not top 5, but I think I'd hard lean Redskins here, laying the 2.5 points against the G-Men.
No, this is a pass for me, and I'm just going to refer back to Nate's mathematical formula from earlier.
Life lessons from Professor Nate.
It definitely applies to this game, man. That's why it's not top 5.
All right, let's get on to our final 1 o'clock game between your Pittsburgh Steelers at the New York Jets. The Steelers laying 3 and the over-under at 38.5.
Fire Tomlin. No, I can't mean that. It's just the game plan last week, which I know is, I honestly can say, is not really on him. But holy crap, run the damn ball. We threw it 39 times. Freaking horrible. So
And they had to lead in the second half, dude. Like,
yes, and that's where they threw it more.
yeah.
The stupidest thing ever. Seriously, I wanted to strangle the offensive coordinator, Fichtner. Oh my god. Anyway, on to this week. Last week was Ducks' first bad game. I do blame part of that on the offensive game plan / play calling there. I think they did not put him in a great situation to succeed. You've been winning by playing safe on offense and your defense getting the job done. And I look for them to get back to that formula this week. Put Duck in high percentage passing situations and have a safe, conservative game plan, not turn the ball over, and just let your defense, win you a close game. I mean, that's really what they've been doing. And the Jets are horrible on offense. They wasted a ton of money on Le'Veon Bell, which, by the way, you don't think for a second that Steeler defense is going to want to lay his ass out all game? I mean, come on. Let's be real there. I mean, I know we were talking about that pre-show. I know Boof agrees. So, yeah, I like the Steelers to win, but the best bet here with considering the offensive situations on both and the Steelers' dominant defense under 38.5, to me, it's probably honestly my favorite bet of the entire slate of games here. I think that is a slam dunk. You could honestly bet the Steelers down to under some of their games to under 30 and still feel good about it, which is insane. So top 5, that is in my top 5, baby.
Yeah, man. Steelers under has been one of my favorite bets of the week for multiple weeks in a row now. And like we were talking about before we started recording here, the Steelers it doesn't really matter who they play. Like they take care of the under by themselves. Their own offense stinks, and their defense is like championship caliber awesome. So it doesn't matter who they play; they're not going to give up any points. And 38.5, it's a low number, but who cares, man? Like it's not going to be 21-17, and even if it was, you're still good. So. I love the under. It's definitely top 5. It's definitely a lock. And just get that money, baby. I mean, that's a winner.
Oh, all day, baby. Lock it in. Get that money.
By the way, that has covered 5 out of the last 6 weeks for the Steelers as well.
Beautiful.
All right. That takes us into our 4 o'clock slate on Sunday. We will kick things off with the Detroit Lions at the Denver Broncos. Broncos laying 6.5. With the over-under at 38.5.
So this is definitely a game that I would have really liked to have seen what the Broncos would have done last week in better weather conditions, because I definitely was liking from what I was seeing from Drew Lock. So I was very tempted to top 5 the Broncos laying the 6.5, just for, quite frankly, how good their offense has looked since he's taken the helm the past few games. But I know it was the Chiefs in Kansas City, in practically a blizzard. But still, I mean, you only have so much data to look at right now at a rookie quarterback. So rookie quarterback laying 6.5, it's a little high for me still. I'll just lean to the Broncos laying the points here.
Yeah, I guess I kind of view it the same way. Like you said, Arrowhead in the snow. I can give you a pass on that one. I do like Denver minus 6.5. I like them enough that I will definitely be betting on them in some capacity. Just not enough to put them, with any sort of top 5 or lock kind of confidence. So that's kind of where I'm at with them. I like it. I don't love it.
Yeah, we are in agreement.
Okay, up next, we have the Oakland Raiders at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers laying 6.5, and you're over under at 46.
Man, you can tell it's getting late in the season, man, because I feel like this is I believe the 4th game now, or you read it out and it's like, ugh. This is another Nate mathematical formula game. I mean, I'll lean the Chargers just because they're better. They have more talent. But Phillip Rivers is old, and he's showing it. And the Raiders are injured, and they're showing it. And they're eliminated, and they're showing it. And, yeah, I just don't feel comfy about anything in this game.
Yeah, no doubt. Two teams, not a whole lot to play for on either side. Chargers have not protected the. I mean, they've given the football away a lot this year. They did it again on Sunday. The Raiders are just bad. 6.5 points. I mean, I would take the Chargers, but nothing I have any sort of confidence in. This is a pass.
Next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks laying 9 and the over-under of 50.
I like the Seahawks to win here, but 10 in a division game, a little high for me considering the Seahawks, as I believe Booth pointed out pre-show, haven't covered that in every game except one. Ironically, I believe it was against the Cardinals, but
that is correct. That is exactly what it is.
Oh, perfect. Yes, that was so that's definitely good information. So, I mean, you can use that information two ways. Well, don't do it because they haven't done it in every game except one, or definitely do it because this is the team they did it against. And they're at home. So technically that should make them, a quote unquote easier cover. So, but just don't feel comfortable about that. There's a lot of data that says just if you want to be safe, pick the Seahawks on the money line and as a parlay pattern, maybe not much else. That's kind of where I'm leaving it at.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I first saw it, maybe I take the Hawks -9. That was definitely my first instinct. But when I went and looked at how their season's gone, I mean, you said it. They have not covered that at all except for one game. And the one that just makes you want to still do it is the fact that it was the Cardinals. But, oh, well, man. I mean, 13-1 is too much against me here. And I'm definitely not taking the Cardinals side of it. So this is a pass.
Okay, our final 4 o'clock game for Sunday features the Dallas Cowboys at the Philadelphia Eagles. Cowboys laying 2.5. You're over/under at 46.5.
The Eagles they're bad. They've looked bad for a while. They're hurt. Wentz has underperformed for most of the season. And even though the Cowboys are also underperforming, the Eagles are underperforming a lot more. So you're giving me under a field goal here in what is basically a de facto play-in game for the playoffs and the division. The Cowboys are healthier, have a lot more talent, and are actually coming off a game where they actually looked good. And let's not forget as well that in the first meeting between these two teams, the Cowboys scrubbed them. So I really feel good about division teams easily sweeping each other. But yeah, I love the Cowboys here, and I love the Cowboys going away. I'll lay the 2.5 easily. That's definitely one of the ones. I know it's not a lock, but it's definitely bonus 5 for me.
I don't know, man. I can't. I have like a mental block taking the Cowboys at this point, man. I'm just done with them for the year. I don't trust them at all. And I mean, honestly, the last 2 years, this has been like Philly's MO. Like, just wait till everybody counts them out, and then just start rattling off wins and sneak into the playoffs and do damage. And like we talk about how they've looked like crap. Well, they've looked like crap in 2 wins, and they could potentially finish the year 4-0 and go into the playoffs like that. So I don't know. The points you make are fair. And that is why I don't love the game. I don't love Philly or anything like that. But I am too afraid to be able to lay 2.5 with Dallas here. So this game is a pass for me.
Okay, that takes us to our Sunday night action, which features the Kansas City Chiefs at the Chicago Bears. Your Chiefs laying 4.5 with the over/under at 44.5.
I mean, is there even a doubt here? Come on now.
For the people.
For the people, we got the Bears losing to my Chiefs. And so we're definitely laying the points with the Chiefs. My boy Patty Mahomes. Come on now. The Bears are just a slightly above average football team. which has been seen by their seesaw nature, and they are going against a Super Bowl contender in the Chiefs. So, yeah, not much analysis needed here. Chiefs win by more than a tutty, so easily lay the 4.5. Top 5 it.
Nate, I was just wondering if the Chiefs train has room for one more on it.
Oh, we always got room for one more, baby.
Well, I want to get on the train, baby, because I love the Chiefs this week.
Woo!
Kind of like I was talking about with the Saints game earlier. I mean, I think when you just get down to this game, I think the Chiefs are the better team here. And 4.5 isn't that big of a deal. KC has covered that 4 games in a row, including New England on the road. I don't think this is a big deal at all. I think the Chiefs keep rolling, cover that 4.5. They are in the top 5, and that gives us another lock for the week.
Lock it in, baby. Get that money. Chiefs!
All right. And we will finish our week with the Monday night action, which has your Green Bay Packers at the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings laying 4 and the over-under at 45.
I do think the Packers are a little bit of it's crazy to say it like this, but I still think the Packers are like a fraudulent 11-3 team. I mean, it sounds weird even saying it like that, but again, the metrics just don't add up, and eventually those things do catch up. And this is definitely not a top 5 pick for me here, but I like the Vikings to win. But 4, if it was 3, I'd feel more comfortable about that because I could see this being a field goal game, being a very important game for the division and playoff seeding. So I'm don't feel comfortable laying the 4 points to the Vikings here. I do like them to win a close game. Like I said, against the Packers team, I feel is kind of fraudulent, and I'm going on the record right now and saying they will lose their first playoff game as well.
Fair enough. I mean, I look at this game, and it's another one, first instinct. I want to take the Vikes. I want to lay the 4. But I don't know, man. The first game, Packers beat them by 5. It is over a field goal. That's one of our checkpoints. Ugh, man, I don't know. If I'm sitting here scratching my head like this enough, it needs to be a pass, and that's what I'm going to do. I pass.
All right, well, that finishes out the week, so I think it's time that we kind of recap here.
I'll take the lead here. We got my top 5 are the Texans -3, Bills +6.5, Ravens -10, Pittsburgh and the New York Jets under 38.5, the Kansas City Chiefs -4.5. And we have some bonus 5 for y'all. I also like the Niners -6.5. Broncos -6.5. Definitely top 5 honorable mention. Cowboys -2.5. A couple reminders on the Ravens game. Also, I do really like the over 1.5 touchdowns scored in the first half for the Ravens. They have covered that in every game since the Browns loss, except for one. And also the halftime, full-time in the Baltimore game. That is only -162. So pretty nice payout there for just winning at the half and at the end of the fourth quarter. So that is it for me there, sir. On to you there, Boof.
Let's see here. I actually have the same top 5 as you. I got bonus 5. I got the Saints -2.5, which we got in the old pizza box. Beyond that, I am also a fan of the Texans and Bucks over 49. I also am on board with the Ravens over 1.5 touchdowns in the first half. I like the Dolphins on a pick'em. I like the Broncos -6.5. So our locks for the week are the Ravens -10, Bills +6.5, Steelers and Jets under 38.5, the Texans -3, and the Chiefs -4.5. Best of luck to everybody this week, and let's get that money.
Get that money.
Chiefs!